Let's make the next logo. Switch to the ellipse tool, then hold Shift and draw a proportional circle. We can see that both the width and the height values are the same. This tells us that our circle is proportional. Up here on the property bar there are 3 icons which can help us create a pie chart figure. Here we can cut out a part of the circle, and here we can reverse it. This is the first way in which we can create part of the logo. Press Ctrl Z. We'll now try to do it in a different way. This circle is not yet converted to curves. If we convert it to curves, the pie chart elements will disappear. These icons are only available when we work with a basic shape like a circle. Now press Ctrl Z. That's why these options disappeared when we converted the circle to curves. Now switch to the Shape tool. Instead of clicking on these icons or changing the values, we can just drag this node. Now we can make whatever shape we want. When we hold Ctrl, the line will change its position by 15 degrees each time we move the cursor. As you can see, part of our circle disappeared. We can easily fix this. Click on the pie icon. The path was closed and the figure is whole again. The arc icon has an opposite function. It will leave only the circle's arc. Hold Ctrl and drag the node to form the first part of our logo. So, now we know 2 techniques which we can use to create a pie chart icon. Switch to white cursor. Now we'll duplicate this figure. Of course, we could also do it a different way. Click on the figure again, go to View menu, then Snap to and click on Snap to Objects. We can now move the rotation center to the bottom right corner of our figure. Go to Arrange, then Transformations and click on Rotate. Change the rotation angle to 180 degrees and click Apply. As you can see, the next part was created. We can also do that without using the Transformations docker. Click once on the figure and click on it twice to show the rotation handles. The rotation center is already placed in the bottom right corner, so we don't need to change its position. Drag the rotation handle. As you can see, we can easily modify the angle of our figure. Hold Ctrl and the figure will change its position every 15 degrees. Hold Ctrl left mouse button and at the same time click the right mouse button. So we can do that by only using the mouse and the Control key. Let's talk about yet another way to do this. Select the figure and duplicate it. We can do that by either using copy and paste options or by pressing the plus key on the numeric keypad. As you can see, we now have 2 figures in the same place. Click on the circle and change its color to orange. If we move the circle a little, we can see that the quadrant is still there. Press Ctrl Z. Switch to Shape tool, hold Ctrl and create another quadrant. Now we can just click the Change Direction icon and the second quadrant is ready. So this is the third way in which we can make a quadrant from a circle. This may look like a different figure, but it's still a circle. The circle options on the property bar are still active and we can use them to modify our figure. We can also change the look of the quadrant by changing these values right here. So now we have 2 quadrants ready. Let's copy the orange figure again. Select the orange quadrant, go to Edit menu, click Copy, access the Edit menu again, and then click on Paste. We can also duplicate this figure by pressing the plus key on the numeric keypad. So now we have 2 figures. Change the colour of the new quadrant and click on the circle icon. Go to Arrange menu, then Order, and then Back of Layer. We can also do that by pressing Shift Page Down shortcut. We moved it to the back of the layer because we only have one layer. Hold Shift and upscale the figure. Let's set an outline to our figure. We can either choose from one of the options available in this drop-down list, or just input our own specific value. Hold Shift and downscale the yellow circle. Set the stroke colour to dark blue. To do that, click on the colour with the right mouse button. Now our circle has a yellow fill and a dark blue outline. I've set such sprite fucking colours. The same thing would happen if we would choose no fill option. Now, we'll move these 2 quadrants to the back. Let's try it. Go to the Arrange menu, then Order, and then to Back of Layer. As you can see, the circle is filled with a yellow colour, and we can't see the quadrants in the back. Of course, we can set the circle fill to none. Go to Fill icon menu and choose No Fill. Something is wrong. Let's try it again. As you can see, I've made a mistake. Press Ctrl Z a couple of times to undo the changes. Select the yellow circle and click on No Fill option. As you can see, there's no problem now. We can see the quadrants which are placed under the outline. But let's say that we need this circle to be filled with the yellow colour. How can we do this? Let's move the yellow circle under the quadrants. Go to the Arrange menu, then Align and Distribute, and click on Back of Layer. Before we'll move to the main action, let's switch to wireframe view. Go to View menu and click on Wireframe. This way we'll see what changes are made to our figure. The answer to our problem is to convert the outline to a standalone shape that can be placed on top of the other objects. Go to Arrange menu and click on Convert to Outline to Object. Thanks to Wireframe View, we can clearly see what has changed. The yellow circle is still intact and the outline is now a separate figure. Switch back to Normal View. We can now move the outline and the circle separately. Press Ctrl Z. Now, there won't be any problem to place our figures under the outline. Select the outline, go to Arrange menu, then Align and Distribute, and click on Front of Layer. So now we have 4 figures in total. Here's the hoop and here's the circle. And here's the 2 quadrants. Press Ctrl Z now to undo the changes. The third logo is now ready. Now, we'll place this text on a path. As you probably already know, this text is artistic text. Switch to Text tool, click on an empty space and write the text. Now, select the text we've just created. Let's go back to what we've been saying before. It's not good to place the text on the path of an existing hoop figure. Because our figure is constructed out of 2 paths, one on the inside and one on the outside of the hoop. That's why we'll place this text on the yellow circle. Select the text. Go to the text menu and click on Fit Text on Path. Now move your cursor over the yellow figure. As you can see, it can be tricky. Sometimes the text jumps onto another quadrant or the hoop. Now it's on the quadrant, now it's on the outline. Again on the quadrant. Right here, it's on the yellow figure, now. Click once to place this text here. Once we've placed the text on the property bar, we'll be filled with the text path icons. We can now move our text by dragging it like this. We can also change the width and the height of the text by changing these values right here. We can position the text further or closer to our path. So the next part of our logo is ready. We've placed the text on the path. This green text is placed on the yellow circle's path. Click once on the text and try to change its colour. As you can see, both the text and the circle change their colours. It's because when we click once, we select both the path and the text. If we now click on the text for a second time, the text will be selected and we'll be able to change and modify it. We can downscale it by dragging the transformation handles or by choosing a size from the drop-down list right here. So it's a pretty easy thing. Let's move on and make the last logo. Before we do that, let's select the logo we've just made and group it and downscale it. Select the sun logo, group it and downscale it. Now we have more space at the bottom of the page. Let's make the next logo. Switch to the ellipse tool, hold Ctrl and draw a proportional circle. We won't need the snap option anymore, so let's deactivate it. Go to View menu, then Snap to and click on Snap to Objects. Select the Bezier tool. Draw a figure similar to the one on the original logo. Please remember to close your figure. To do that, click on the starting node. Another way to do that is to click on the Close Curve icon placed on the property bar. Now make the next figure. Now create the last wave. Switch to cursor, select these figures and change their colour. The colour didn't escape from our figures and everything looks nice. This tells us that our figures are closed. Switch to the Shape tool and select all nodes from the first figure. Now convert them to smooth points. Now we'll change the node types. In our case, there are two options which we can choose, symmetrical nodes or smooth nodes. Let's click on symmetrical nodes icon. Our path was automatically smoothed. Now we'll modify it by dragging the nodes. If the fill and the stroke of the figures makes it difficult to select the nodes, we can always switch to the wireframe view. Go to the View menu and click on Wireframe. Select all nodes from the second figure and convert them to smooth points. Actually, we don't need to select all nodes. Select only nodes which are placed over the bottom circle. Click on the symmetrical node icon. We can delete some nodes or change their positions. Let's say that the first two figures are ready. Select the nodes from the third figure and convert them to smooth points and click on symmetrical node icon. So we've created three elements for our new logo. Let's now look at the original logo and decide what to do next. Go to the View menu and switch to Normal View. Select the circle and change its colour to grey. Select all figures. Go to the Pen tool icon and click on No Outline. We can also do that by clicking on this square with the right mouse button. Select the three wave figures, change their outline colour to yellow. Go to Pen Tool icon menu and click on Hairline Outline. Now we need to somehow hide or delete the bottom part of our circle. One way to do that is to draw a figure which we will use to trim the circle. Switch to Bezier tool. Draw the figure and make sure that it's closed. Switch to the white cursor, hold Shift and select the circle. Now trim the figure. Our circle is now trimmed. If we move it, we can see how it looks. Let's switch to wireframe view for a minute. As you can see, the bottom of the circle was deleted. Switch back to normal view. And let's talk about the second way to do this. Press Ctrl Z several times. Another way to delete the bottom of the circle is to trim it with the existing overlapping figure. Let's change its colour to yellow and select it. Hold Shift and click on the circle and click the trim icon. Let's move the circle to see the effect. As you can see, the circle was trimmed in two parts and still treated as one path. Go to Arrange menu and click on Break Curve Apart. Click on the side to deselect the figures. As you can see, we can now move the figures separately, but this technique may not be available to us all of the time. As luck would have it, we have a figure which we can trim our circle. So again, select the circle, go to Arrange menu and click on Break Curve Apart. Click on the side to deselect. Now we can move both parts of the circle separately. Let's talk about yet another way to make the bottom of the circle disappear. Press Ctrl Z to undo the changes. Select the circle, go to Arrange menu and click on Convert to Curves. Now switch to the Shape tool. Now create a node right here. Create another node on the other side of the figure. Try to modify the circle by dragging the direction line handle. As you can see, the circle's path is slightly bent here. Press Ctrl Z. We can avoid that by converting both of these two nodes to cusp nodes. With these nodes we can change position of one direction line handle without worrying about the other. As you can see, the structure in the top part of the circle hasn't been modified. Now we can just modify the bottom of the figure. Press Ctrl Z to undo the changes. Select all wave figures. We need to trim them with the circle now. We don't want to trim each figure separately, so we can combine or weld them. We've already said that if the figures are not overlapping, it doesn't matter what icon we use. Click on Combine icon. As you can see, the figures were merged into one object. Change the colour to yellow. So now we have two objects, the compound path and the circle. Select both figures and click on Intersect icon. Change the colour now to orange. Now go to the Arrange menu, then Order and click on Front of Layer. We can now move the yellow figure to one side. Now select the circle. We've already created two cusp nodes, so we can now just hide the bottom of the figure by moving the nodes under the middle wave. The last logo is ready. As you can see, there are several ways to achieve one effect. Now we'll place the text on a path. In this case, it's pretty easy. Select the text, go to the text menu and click on Fit Text to Path. Now place the text on the circle. If the text was placed under the figure, we can just move it to the front. Go to Arrange menu, then Order and click on To Front of Layer. Select the whole logo and group it by clicking on the group icon.